Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. It's Angela, the Traveling Crafter, and today you are in for a fun surprise. I'm sorry, I had to put my jacket on, I'm chilly. We are going to, well, first of all, Walmart for the win. I don't say that very often, but today I am saying it. So what I have to show you is a very small haul, and then we are going to create with a few things that I picked up at Walmart while I was shopping for some last minute staging pieces for the house that we were doing, which by the way is finished. And you will probably see this sooner than some of my other videos that are in the vault, if you will, because I am so behind, I'm telling you. But enough whining on my part. Let's just go ahead and get started. I'm like that cold. I want to zip my little Jackie up, but it's not zipping. Okay, so let me tell you the story. So I went to, well, I'm going to show you the Walmart things last because we're going to use them in our project. But I went to Walmart the other day. I needed a soap dispenser and a couple other little things. And I spun through the school supply aisle and the craft supply aisle. And one thing I don't have with me, I'm at the lake now, so I did not bring these with. But if you guys know what I'm talking about and know the name of this color, I say color book, but I think it's color book, paper pad. It's one I've had. I bought one or two a long time ago. Once when I was when we were going through the Grand Canyon when we were on our RV trip, was the first time I found it. And loved the paper pad. It's got florals and bright greens and pinks and just kind of my jam. And then I think I found another one at a Walmart, but it's been a very long time ago. And that trip was like 2018, maybe 2019. And then I found a partial pad at a thrift store or a yard sale or something like that. Well, I found another one of them. I'll show you when I get back. I'll throw it into a haul so you can see. But if you know, you know. There was only one, which is so bizarre to me because there were all kinds of pads of paper, a lot of solids, but there was that one. And I look usually every time I go into Walmart, which isn't a ton, and I was just thrilled. So I bought that. And then I bought some other things that you're going to see. And then when I got up here, I had, an hour and 45, 2-hour drive. I started thinking about something that I saw and I didn't pick up. Or I picked up one of. And I went back and got more because we are going to do a pretty cool project with some of these things. So, okay, enough of me just stalling and keeping it all secret. Let's just get to it. So, when I got up here, I ran to Walmart again because I had this in my head that I wanted to pick these things up. And I also needed to get some staples, some yogurt, some berries, some fruits, some vegetables. And then I was like, well, I'm here, so I may as well stop into the thrift store. So I did, and I picked up this bag of vintage trims, vintage seam binding and such, hem tape. So there was this one. I can't see. Yeah, you can see. There's this one, which I think is so precious. It's just got, and I have a few of these like that, and I love them so much. All of these will stay up here because I have plenty at home. This one is piping, and I love to use this on the edge of a page. And all I do is just slip. It kind of comes, I don't have any nails right now. My nails are trashed. But it kind of comes apart like this. And I just slide this in between, or the paper in between it, and then glue it on either side. And it makes just a cute little tiny itsy bitsy edge. So sometimes others might just throw this away, but I just keep them and use them actually quite a bit. And right below me, I'm at Mo's and her sewing room, and I have a little bin down here with trims. These were all seam bindings. Now, one thing I don't know that I've ever shared with you, but you need to know this. When you get vintage seam binding, if it says it's iron-on, a lot of times this, like if you try to do crinkled seam binding, it will not work. So just know that if you try one and it's like, why didn't this crinkle? Because all you do is spray water on it, crinkle it up in your hand, set it aside, let it dry, and you've got crinkled seam binding. It's really that easy. But these other ones, I don't know what this is, of course, because it doesn't have the label. But like this one says non-shrink, non-wrinkle, probably won't do what you want it to do. This one probably will. This was just a piece of nothingness. And this was, the whole bag was $3. There were some other things that I'd already chucked in here before I was like, oh, I should do a video. Like there was these little pieces that weren't all together. I had bundled the other ones up. There was a little bit of rickrack. In addition to that one I just showed you, there were these 4. So that's a win. And, you know, as our friend Sierra says, leave no rickrack left behind. And then, you know that recently I have this rubber band. What was it around that I just threw that stuff in? Oh, this one. Hang on. It'll drive me crazy if it's not all together. It was that. There we go. Done. You know, recently that I tried, and I'm like, you guys have probably already done this. I just had never tried it. But I took some of this, and it was bright orange. And I think I only got these. All the rest of these are the thinner ones like this. So I'm going to put the rubber band around it, and then we'll add the other ones. But these big ones are fantastic to make ruffles. I have never had a fabric or a textile that worked so brilliantly to make ruffles. They turned out perfect. Now I am not I don't go for perfection generally when I make my ruffles. I like them to kind of look a little bit messy. I don't want them to look like all even Steven, just for my purposes. Now some of my friends, like Carrie the Paper Monkey, hers are like perfect. And a couple of the rest of you who have sent me your ruffles, they're like beautiful. I envy you. It's not that I couldn't do it like that. I just am like, okay, I want to get it done. And I like the, what's going to happen when I push this through my sewing machine. So, yeah, no, mine are probably never going to look perfect. But these, when you use this, they're no fail. And what I do is I use my metal ruler. And this is all I have up here. And I just put it through the machine and then, you know, make the ruffle as I go and push it through. And it's like butter. Okay, I spent way too much time convincing you need to try it, but you need to try it. So I got those. We may use some of those today in today's project. I'm really excited about our project today. It's nothing earth-shattering, but I think it's kind of fun. I also picked up this little things you can build or make. Let me make sure. Yes, you can. This with things around the house. What, you know, was it last year or 2 years ago? I have a playlist, and it is, wow. Okay, first of all, let me just apologize because it is 10 o'clock at night. Angela's brain doesn't work after about 5 o'clock at night, so the fact that I'm doing a video is really, really special. So it might be a real special video. Anyway, I did a whole series, 100 days of using a different item for 100 days with things around the house. And this is from 1978. Gosh, goodness, see, my eyes don't work either. But I just thought it looked so retro. It would be perfect for projects. I'll probably take this one home with me and put it with my art things, which, you know, I got a whole tote full. But I think that will work well for those projects. Then I got this blender recipes. I think I already have this. I'm not positive. But I loved that it had this original $9.95 sticker on it. And this one is in pristine shape. So if I have the other one, I'm almost positive I have this. Which that means then I can decide which one has a better cover. And then decide what I want to do with this, or if I want to do anything with it at all. But it reminds me a little bit of the Jello, and you know I have a Jello journal in my future. Do you really think, you know, I make my journals and I sell them because I just like to create them. I don't necessarily journal in them. Do you think anybody's going to buy a Jello journal? I mean, I've got a couple journals that I'm like, I'm just making these like for myself. Is anybody gonna want this? I don't know, but I think it'd be fun. I would lots of bright colors and things like that. So anyway, I picked that up. And then I came across this. It was $1. And I opened, oops, I have some other things in there that we're gonna, this is going home with me as well. This I bought, this was a book. It was a Mother Goose. Oh, here, I kept the cover. Here was the book. A Mary Mouse Book of Nursery Rhymes. So I popped on a YouTube video and I fussy cut a little bit. And then these are all ones that I'll probably use in my mice journals. But I've got some inside of here that I'm going to use for... No, I got them somewhere else that I'm going to use for something else. So I was like, oh, this is very, 60s, 70s. Thoughts of you, sunshine in my mind. And then you open it up. Oh my goodness. I mean, who is going to leave lime green? Well, I mean, probably a lot of you who don't like lime green. But I was like, this is perfect. So what am I going to do with this? You guys give me your ideas. I have not yet decided. I thought I got my hands all clean from my last little projects working on the house, but apparently not so much. So that will go home with me. I'll take the blender book home too, I'm sure, because I have that. Then these are the rest of these that I picked up from that, or I cut out from that book. But the images are just so cute. And I don't believe it's one I already have. So they're in this little thing because they have bonnets on them. And you need to be watching because there's a collaboration that is coming up that we are going to be doing, which is Prairie Girls Journal with Jonna and Carol at Crinkled Path. And we're using my digitals, and we're going to do kind of a Little House on the Prairie Holly Hobby type journal or project. And we have a series of videos that we're going to go live on. So I put those in here with this because they had bonnets on, and I thought, well, I could do a mouse on the prairie book. This, I don't know. I'm kind of up in the air about this because, well, let me find the, hopefully I didn't throw that out. No, here it is. This is a Dollhouse decorator kit. So basically what this is like the wallpaper and all of the little things that you might put on the wall or make into picture frames and that kind of thing. It's by Carousel Crafts Company from 1975. And she charged me $1 for it. Did not have a price on it. So there are the little things that you can put, in the frames. There's the fireplace and all kinds of good things. But the reason that I bought it is because... Now, I'm assuming that there was a whole, like it came with the wood pieces and such. Those were not in here. But this looks very Holly Hobby-esque to me. And it's like, almost like a wall. It's heavier than, well, it's kind of like a heavy wrapping paper. And I thought, gosh, I mean, even with like these sitting next, like some of these on here, they just look cute, don't they? So that's kind of what I wanted to do. But here's why I say I'm up in the air. I have a dollhouse that I got when I was very young. And my dad put it together for me, and we never really decorated it. And I'm almost thinking like, oh gosh, I could use some of this in there. Like, I'm assuming this was the brick for the outside of the house. Oh, look at this. I don't know. It was $1. I thought it was really pretty, so I did not leave it behind. It originally was $7 and nope. Yeah, $7.23, and it was on sale for 50 cents. Wowza. And then the last two things, two things, but I've already cut one of them up because the cover was kind of gross. The book that I got, you're going to see black and whites, and you're going to see these. And this might not fit in there. It was called In Due Season. For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. Here's what it looks like. But and it was all full page black and whites. And I will probably take the rest of these out, but I have it in the garbage because it's gross on the outside. So I didn't want to touch it. But I first found this one. Yeah, you can't see the whole thing. It's not going to stay in the camera. And I was like, huh, what's this? It's called Kitchen Garden A to Z, Growing, Harvesting, Buying, and Storing. It's a McGrath Smith publication. And look at this. I love to use oversized pages, as you well know. I love the challenge of trying to figure out what to do with them. I have tons of gardening and homemaking and, kind of farmhouse ephemera. So these are the ones I pulled out to go with this because I love the juxtaposition of the black and white next to the chopping broccoli. She chop. But let's get back to, look at that. Strawberry journal. Spinach. Peas. Rhubarb. I mean, I think these are gorgeous. And so I'm going to challenge myself to do something with it. I will probably take it home. This might have to sit, because it's so big, the way I've reorganized, I don't think these pages will fit in here. But, I mean, these themselves are going to make beautiful pages for a gardening journal. So, I put all those together. And, whoops, there we have it. I'm getting to it. I'm getting to our project, friends. I promise. The last thing that I picked up, last two things that I picked up. One was this. The reason I picked this up was twofold. This did have Velcro on it, and the Velcro was coming off. So I took the Velcro off. But this is supposed to Velcro. When I put it together, I think I'm going to magnetize it. But it's a lake and home cabin kit. Now, this is beautiful. I love aspens, birch, whatever you guys might call them in your neck of the woods. And what kind of duck is that? It's not a mallard. Anyway, loon. Is it a loon? I don't know. Don't ask me. But even that's beautiful. So, I could just cover this, but it's going to stay up here. And what I decided to do is just to use this as bases for, maybe it's projects that I do. Maybe it's just, I thought all of them had, I guess not all of them do. A lot of them have blank back pages. And I'm going to show you this one in just a second. But I thought, if I'm up here and I'm crafting and I could just make this a journal, and each thing that I make, I could put one of them in there. It's just like kind of an eclectic journal that I just have up here. Not that I would sell, just for myself, inspiration when I come up here. And I also bought this, not because I had already been to Walmart and got what I needed, but it's going to work perfect. And so we might use this today. but it's called I Like Colors and Shapes. It was $5.95 in Canada, or no, in $6.95 in Canada years ago. But, you know, I love my art journals and I love color. And so I had to have this. It's from Great Britain, and it was printed in Belgium. I'm sorry, the publisher, the copyright was from Great Britain. It does not have a year on it, but it's just so cute. I mean, there's tons of, look at that. Wouldn't that make a great tag or a journal card or a belly band? So this is perfect for my journals, and I thought, or for my art journals and such. But I thought this would make a good journal in and of itself and just do all of the colors, which leads me to what I got at Wally World. So, I need to work on not saying so as much. Here's a great example of one of the things. So the reason I went back is because I had bought one composition notebook, and not this one. So this is the one I just have up here. And what I don't like about composition notebooks is I don't like that they don't really lay very flat. I mean, the other, like this is a plastic cover, but even the other ones don't very well. So on my way up here, I was thinking about, gosh, I saw those composition notebooks and I did not buy them, and they were 38 cents. Then I saw Carrie that did a video about she had picked some up, and I'm like, I should have picked them up. So I had that 2 hours to think about, and storm brain, as we used to call it when the kids were little. And I went back to pick up 3 of these. Stay tuned. I've got plans. We're going to alter these 3 different ways, and I've got, I think, some fun things. I hope they'll work out. We'll see. But that's on my agenda. I will take those home with me. What I did pick up the other day when I was getting those other goodies is I saw these, and I thought, oh, that's pretty cute. I just picked up this one, and I loved it because it had this blank space, and then it had like the writing page in it. So I think that this could be really fun too, and maybe we'll alter this one as well. But then after I picked it up, I'm like, I should have picked up more of those. So when I went back to get my supplies, I picked up just one more. So I grabbed that one. And while I was there, this is when I want you to be on the lookout or run to your Walmart, because I went around the corner and in a different area, I probably wouldn't have noticed that these were composition notebooks because they were spiral bound. But watermelons and zinnia, no, what are these? Are they zinnias? It will say inside, I'm pretty sure. But these are from the Jalapeno Paper Company. I swear it said what this was called. Anywhoosies. Oh, cone flowers. That's what they are. And the watermelons. So I grabbed those right on up. Now, these I'm just going to use as they are. And I'll probably, I don't know, maybe I should do, I don't know, what, I could make a watermelon journal out of that. I could make a floral, I don't know. What would you do? Because I was just going to use them to write in, because again, I like it when things lay flat. But there was a lot of different designs. These are just the 2 that I picked up. The other thing that I picked up when I got the little school ruled composition notebook was I got some crayons. Now, my thought was initially, when I went to the thrift store, I was looking for something to put all of said crayons in, because I thought it would be good to offer some crayons and markers for the kiddos, and some coloring books. And then I didn't have anything to put it in. So I found this for $5 to put them in. And then as I was putting them in there, I was like, you know, I don't know if I want to encourage children coloring with markers and crayons that might color all over something in the rental. Call me a Scrooge, I know, but I was like, if their parents bring them, then they can be responsible. But maybe I better not encourage them. So I just put them in this thing, put them on the shelf behind me, and I thought they were cute. But you know I didn't buy these just because I wanted the crayons. I did. I bought washable markers, and I bought the jumbo crayons, and then I bought a regular pack of crayons. But, friends, so I bought those and these and regular ones, traditional. But then I found bold and bright construction paper crayons and pastel crayons. So this is what the packages look like. This is what the inside, this is what the ones, these neon ones. So you can write on black paper or any other color. And then the pastel ones are these, have the green wrapper on them. And they're kind of glittery. So I was like, well, sign me up. I gotta have those. I don't do a lot of coloring, color book kind of things, but I like to play around with, you know, crayons and different ways. You know, I've melted them, done all kinds of stuff. So when I had bought this big kahuna that I'm going to keep up here to put little projects in, I thought, well, let's just play around with these crayon boxes and see what we can create. So I have really no, it's not really a tutorial because I just started playing, and this is what I ended up with. So my intent was to make this into a pocket that was that had a lot of give to it, so I could put a lot of stuff in it. And I also wanted to use as much of the box as I could. And without really thinking much about it, I made the pocket. I used the rest of it to make another tag. I left that on the back because it says Crayola. And then just trimmed it down a little bit so it would fit in here. I embraced this, you know, little curvy poo, and I'll show you how I did that. And then I did this on that page just so I could use this as my sample. And I used the Bold and Bright, the construction paper crayons, the ones that are this one, just to make some scribbles on it. Added a piece of pom-pom trim, and then I used the top part of the box that folded over the flap and just made a little tab on it. So we're going to play around with these just a little bit. And I think what we're going to do is use this pastel one. And I also have up here a very small box of ephemera that I just leave in of things that I've made and just have here in case I'm working on a project. But this is what we're going to do. I'm going to show you how I did this. And if we have time, I'm not going to use this one because I want to do something, maybe make a shaker or something like that with this one. So I'll probably leave that up for another time. But maybe we'll do something with this one too. But we're going to concentrate on this pastel one because it's, you know, it's different. I'm thinking, like, if I used it on a page, I would use this one. And then these are all just scraps that were in my little scrap bin. And they all go pretty well with that. So we'll get to that in a minute. We're going to concentrate on deconstructing this and how come this one is different. Seriously? Oh, no, it's not. Okay. So all I did is just carefully peeled off this edge. So then it's going to lay flat. All right? That's all there is to it. Now, I took my scissors and I cut off. I think at first I left this part on, but we're not going to. We're just going to cut all of this off. Actually, I did not use my scissors when I did this. I used my X-Acto knife. Either way, it's fine. Keep this part. These parts, if you want to use them for something, you certainly can. I am not going to. Okay, this is going to become our tag. So we're just going to take this and cut it right here. And I'm thinking, I'm going to leave this flap on here because maybe we'll make a notebook instead of just a tag. And we can embrace that little flap there. So let's just Of course, it won't fit. Will it? Let me see. No, because I had to cut it down. Let's just go ahead and cut it down right now. That way, if I want to use it, I know the whole part won't be exactly even in it, but I'm okay with that. That way we know what will fit inside. So we'll put this aside and we'll use this for the tag when we're ready. That should fit. And on the other one, I lifted it up so that I could get that paper underneath it. And you could also pull this up and make the notebook here if you wanted to. So we'll just leave this like it is, put this aside as well. Now on this one, keep these like they are for right now. And you're going to, this is where we're going to use our X-Acto knife. So just cut off these two little pieces. All right. All right. I mean, these were not cheap. These were like the regular crayons were like a quarter, 50 cents. I can't remember. But these were a little bit more. They were like $2.47, as were these. And I think, for some reason, I think these washable markers were like really cheap too, like $1 or so. But I knew I was going to keep the crayons, I thought, for guess, but so I was okay with paying that for them. But as it turns out, not so much. Okay, what we want to do is I want to make sure that when I put this on a page, that I have plenty of room inside of, I mean, you could do this just like this, and you could have left the back on it, and you could use this on your cover if you wanted to. But remember, if you're putting something this with that much, I mean, how big is that? An inch. The chances of that getting smashed is pretty good. So we're just going to trim this down. And I think what I did is I started with this side where I had that. And when I did it up against that, it wasn't quite enough. So what you want to have left is like maybe, let me just give you about, let's just say 7/8 maybe, less than 1/4 of an inch. Because all we want that to do is just kind of fold in so that we have a little bit of space. And then, now this thing moves when I do this, so sometimes. But I'll put on a death grip on it. Now you could keep this and use it for something. I'm doubtful that I will, but I know some of you, and this is not even straight, but that's okay. You know, I don't think these boxes are exactly straight, because that happened on the last one, and I'm like, I measured on the last one. I don't usually keep scraps like that. I mean, please don't come after me. But if I kept every single scrap that I had, I'd be, what am I doing? I don't want that, there we go. I'd be buried in, in paper. According to my daughter, I'm already buried in paper. She was looking for page protectors. And she's like, Mom, we need to get a dumpster. Because where I have them is in a drawer or a cabinet that I don't usually use. And it's got like specialty labels for when I did my jars for like the body oils and candles and all that stuff. What I'm doing now is I'm going to miter each edge of these, just so it will close a little bit easier. But don't get me wrong, I keep plenty of paper. but I do throw my fair share of scraps away. Okay, I'm going to do that up here too. Just a tiny bit. Oh, that just went flying. All right, so now it's mitered all the way around. And that's all there is to it, you guys, because it's, you don't have to score it. You don't have to do anything because this is your natural, that makes your pocket. Then I did take, and I only have, I do have some more circle punches, but I'm too lazy to get them out. And I just made a little hole at the top. Of course, you could ink if you wanted. And now that is my pocket that I can use anywhere that I want. With the tab, what I did is I folded this down and I just followed this line of it. And these are my grandma's scissors that she had a whole bunch of those. And I'm like, well, I need a little tiny pair. Mo, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. You're probably screaming at me going, those are for fabric. Well, I've also been looking for, I did think maybe I would catch Dave in a weak moment. He was tired and we had been working. We had big successes with getting all of our staging done. And when I went to Walmart to pick up my stuff, I was like, hey, can I buy a sewing machine? It was $275. He's like, no, you can't. And I'm like, all right, I thought maybe you'd say yes. I needed him to say no, but I really wanted to buy it because I don't want to use her sewing machines. It's like really fancy. And the truth is, I have one I could bring up here, but I just need something. I just don't want to use that. So there you go. There's that. That's going to be our pocket. You can put it anywhere you want. I don't know if we're going to actually go that far with them, but let's do something with this. So we've got all of these papers, and I feel like this one right here, like for example, I mean, just look how cute this looks on here. Or on this looks even better. Like you could put this on here, and that could be a belly band. I may do that. I'm going to put that right there. But we are going to use, ooh, this is cute too. Which one do we like better? This one kind of looks like it goes better with, kind of just blends right in, right? I want to, and I am going to cover the back of it, I think. Yep. All right, let's just cover this. I don't need to cover all of that, but I'm going to. And for this, I'm going to use this. I just about fell off my chair. Yep, it's getting late, friends. Roll on over here. I'm going to use this horrible Elmer's washable glue. Not that Elmer's glue is horrible, but generally it slides away way too much. But I have it, and when I can, I need to use it. Which also saves me some money, right? Because instead of using my Fabri-Tac. So we'll work with it. And, oh. And I'm going to leave this here because I want that to show. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this down. See what I'm saying? It just, well, you all know. If you use this, you know. But hey, it's here. We need to use it. All right. And it's also does that. It makes it kind of warp a little bit. Now, we don't want to fold that until this is dry. But I think on the back, we're going to cover the whole thing. And we'll just use the same paper. So how have y'all been? I hope good. I just feel like I but you know, I'm juggling about 500 balls in the air, and I'm dropping about 650. I just don't have enough time. I just don't. And I know I'm not alone, and you can all say, yep, I agree. I'm with you on that, sister. And I might just go like this with that. It's a little bit easier than... So what I'm behind on really is all my YouTube stuff. I had a live sale before we took our hiatus, and I literally, and I'm not making excuses, but, and I did say, you know, I probably, most of the people that purchase from me purchase often, so I'm like, I don't know when I'm gonna get to being able to get it invoiced. Well, it hasn't happened, so there's that. Now here's how so if you were one of those people that have ordered from me and are like, well, gosh, she still hasn't sent that. Nope, I have not, and I totally own it, and I apologize, and please have some grace. So what I did with this is I just followed this kind of curve here, and I just went right there, and then I just basically squared it off. See, that's still kind of wet, I think. Okay, so now it looks like that. You still have that area there. Now this might get a little wonky because it's probably still wet, but I just took this. How come that's not? Oh, there we go. And just used it, my hole punching, to clean it up. Worked really well on the last one. That one's still not quite dry. You can feel it. And then I just put it down like that. And if I had anything that just needed a little bit of touch up, I could do that. It doesn't look too bad. Yeah, see, it was still a little bit too wet. And then, of course, if you wanted, you could do something. I don't know. It's late, friends. It's late. I'm taking a chance by bending that because this back one is not totally dry. But we're just going to try this. I think we will just grab, let's see, all of this is cardstock. Is that cardstock? Oh, you know, what do I have? That might work. That will work. Let's see what else I got. I don't think I have a lot of not cardstock. How about just some regular paper, maybe? Here, what's this? This one will work. Where's all this paper that I've got? I know I brought some. I thought I left some of this up here. How many pages is this? That's my 3 stinking pieces of paper. And then all we need to do is measure and cut all of them. And we'll do that with these, and then I'll see if I can find a few more. And it might look cute, actually, to staple them on. I don't do that very often, but it might work. I kind of like the idea of these being... I'm going to cut that one down. I'm just doing these 3. And then we're just going to make sure it's bent. See that? See what I'm saying? It's okay. This is just my sample. I think I'm going to staple it. Why not? I'm hitting this. I haven't put my crayon thing back. Now I am doing this so it's the pokey part's inside. In there. Barely. Oh boy. This is when you know you should probably stop, right? And then we can do one of 2 things. I can glue this with Fabri-Tac, so this just comes back like that. But I feel like I'm going to have to hold it. So I'm not going to do that right now. But off camera, I'll just glue this and then get some clips somewhere. I know I have some. And then keep it like that. I think I would have liked it better if I would have done it at the top, but I was embracing that little piece. And then, as you can tell, once it's all done, you can stick it inside of there, and it will be finished. We should probably put some kind of, ooh, look at, we got purple ribbon right here, or lace. Just grab a piece of that. And bada bing, bada boom. It's done. So, I mean, there's tons of things that you could do with these. I first thought when I showed you the sample that I would take the, let me show you. So now this we can put in here so we can, well, do I have a paper clip? Yeah. Keep this with it. I'll keep this all together so it all can stay as a grouping, because I really do think that would be cute together as a belly band. But what I did think would be awesome is, let me just show you on a different one, because so like for this, I thought, you know, you could take this off and use it for a tab as well, or use it for something else. And then what you could honestly do, let's just pretend like this is our page. Is you could make this your belly band. Of course, you know, you're gonna have to cut it down so you've only got a little bit. But that could be a great big belly band. Or the other thing I think would be cool to do with this is, well, I guess we can probably just see how this one opens up. My thought was you'd still cut it down. My thought was that you could open it up. I mean, obviously, we know we can make these into mini journals, right? But I'm thinking that if it had a lower profile, it could be almost like a belly band that was then interactive. So we could just, you know, maybe put a magnet or a... it's too late for me to start digging into this because I will screw it up and then I'll be upset. And I'm not going to buy another thing of jumbo crayons. But if this was just a little lower profile, like this, we could keep the back on it and have it so that the back, this basically became like an interactive piece on the belly band. Am I making any sense whatsoever? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? And the other thing that I thought would be cool is you could do a belly band going this way. So let's just pretend it was like that. And you could make it so that, you know, pretend this wasn't here. Again, cut it down so it wasn't so high profile. And then leave this on here. And then, you know, you can make it pretty on it. And that could maybe stick up above your page, or you could put it down here, you know, farther, and just put something on it so it kind of sticks up. And then make this your pocket as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of different options that you guys can do with these on your page. But I just think they're super, super cute. And mostly, I was really excited about these. Pretty. You guys have probably already seen these. I don't go to this kids section very often, and I don't go to Walmart very often, but I think that these are really, really, really pretty. So give it a go. Thanks for bearing with me when I'm extremely tired and probably not making a whole lot of sense. I will take the rest of these home with me, and we'll figure out what we're gonna do with them as well. And I think we can have a good time. So make sure that if you got ideas, leave comments. If you want to, you know, try something together, let me know. We'll do it. But this was a lot of fun. And like I said, I've made, you know, box journals before with, you know, playing cards and things like that. I don't know that I've ever done one with crayons, though. I bought one from my friend, was that Judy that I bought those from? That made them? I don't want to get it wrong, so I'm not going to say, but on the Maker's Market. And I love it, and it's beautiful, and it sits proudly on my display. So give it a go. Check out Walmart. Pick up some of those things if you're so inclined. 38 cents for these little guys. I mean, that's a steal. I mean, if you do nothing with it except use it, that's great. And I was very impressed with these. Now, these were not 38 cents, but they're pretty. They're pretty. So, we will see you next time, friends. And until then, remember to take time to just be. Cheers.